Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the segment of Khoj Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. The recitation, Dhanasari Mahalla Panjama, Jin Tum Bheje Tineh Bulae, Sukh Sahaj Seti Ghare Aao, Anand Mangal Gun Gao, Sahaj Tun Nehchal Raj Kamao. Literal translation, Jin Tum Bheje, the one who sent you, Tineh Bulae, that same one now beckons you to come back. Sukh Sahaj Seti Ghar Aao, return to your true home in peace and in poise. Sukh Sahaj Seti. And that means come back having cultivated virtues. Ananda Mangal Gun Gao. Only then will you return in poise and happiness. Sahaj Dhun Nehchal Raj Kamao. Nehchal Raj, the eternal kingdom. So the verse is framing human life as a journey of return. That's the narrative. The Jeev, or the being, processing from the source, the Prabh, and eventually seeking its way back. Home obviously is not a physical location, but returning back to a state of consciousness, Sahaj, where it was, and where the frantic wandering of the ego ceases. Nehchal Raj Kamao, to rule an eternal kingdom, suggests a sense of sovereignty, which means that the mind is no longer a slave to external circumstances, but is anchored within itself. So we have to understand the narrative that we are all a part of before we know what to do. So the narrative is that you have to return back to your source, but return back better, quote unquote, cultivated, cultured in the virtues, having learned something, for sure. Not to return back the way you came. In other words, make a difference and go back. That's the call. And now here, Tum ghare aavo mere meet, Tumre dokhi hare aap nivare, a-sabad-a-day bitit. So it is a call to the friend, the meet, to come home. Tumre dokhi hare aap nivare, the har, that consciousness, will remove your enemies. Essentially, your enemies are no more than your ego. And your time of misfortune will pass. A-sabad-a-day bitit. So this is a rather radical shift in perspective. I mean, the enemies are not sitting outside, but it is the internal psychological friction that the ego creates. And because of the ego being misdirected more than anything else, it doesn't know direction, we remain alienated. In other words, we remain homeless. Tum aavo ghar mere meet is turn inward. Turn inward and dissolve all of these obstacles. The next stanza, Pragat kine prab karne hare, nasan bhajan thake, kar mangal vaje nit vaje, apne khasam nivaje. So pragat kine prab karne hare. The prab, that presence, reveals itself. It's not a physical thing that is revealed. It's the mind that has the discernment of the ground of our being. Nasan bhajan thake. Because of that, the frantic running and wandering of my mind has ended. Nasan bhajan thake. And instead, Ghar mangal vajje, nit vajje. In the core of my consciousness, vibrations of joy resound, nit vajje, all the time. So the mind is at rest. Because apne khasam nivajje, my master, the Har, has bestowed its grace. So when you turn your direction away from the rat race outside, you're exhausted. And when reality is revealed as being present right here, that rat race ends. The next stanza, Asthir raho, dolo hu mat kabhu, gur ke bachan adhare, jai jaikar sagal bhu mandal, mukh ujjal darbar. Asthir raho, remain steady. Dolno mat kabhu, never waver. Gur ke bachan adhare, take the Guru's word as your support, the word meaning wisdom, knowledge. If you do that, Jai Jaikar Sagal Bhu Mandal, you will be acclaimed throughout the universe, recognized, and your face shall be radiant in that court. Mukh Ujjal Darbare. So the word of the Guru is the psychological bedrock in a world of constant flux. When you anchor the mind in wisdom, you reach that state of unshakability, nechal. And that is honored by every fabric of existence. Mukh Ujjal is a metaphor for living a life of integrity and clarity. In conclusion, Jinke jeetne hi phere, ape bhaya sahai, acharj kiya karne hare, nanak sach vadiyai. Acharj kiya karne hare, nanak sach vadiyai. Acharj, a wonder. This whole existence is a wonder, says Nanak. Such a vadiyai, greatness. And what is the greatness? It is this whole play that we've been talking about, this cosmotheandric reality where you have the prab, that presence, the source, bringing forth individual souls, or Jis as we are called, and then to bring them back, and the prab itself being the helper. That is indeed a wonder, as the Guru says. It's a miracle, it's a wonder. This is the ultimate wonder. The realization that the seeker and the sought are really one. They're not different. That is amazing to go through this journey. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.